Hi folks. Today we're going to do a tutorial on how to use Easybib. This is going to help you do citations for all your assignments. It'll help you build a bibliography, and it'll do it in MLA format without you knowing anything about how to do that format itself. It's really a piece of cake. So to do that, you want to open up your web browser. I'm going to open up Firefox, but you could use Internet Explorer or any web browser. And you want to go to my homepage. This is an easy way to do this, seeing as most of you will have been to this page many times. So faculty.fmcc.suny.edu/Freeman. Once you are at my website, you're going to look down at the bottom, all the way at the bottom line, third one from the left, you're going to see FMCC Evans Library. Click on that. There are, of course, other ways to get to this page. You can go through the FM homepage. You can go directly to the FMCC library using this link up here. I just always do it from my own homepage. I have a link right there. It's much easier. In the center of the Evans Library screen, you'll see these icons. You want the center icon. It's called Guides and Citation Help. Click on that one. When you get to there, you're going to see a whole lot of tabs. These tabs are to help you with various citations and doing research at the college. I'm going to focus your attention on the MLA Citation Help, which is the top tab, second one from the left. Click on that. When you get there, there's some easy MLA quick guide that tells you about MLA citation and how to do that citation. But the thing I want to show you is Easybib. This is a simple way to build a bibliography. If only such a thing existed when I was in college. Here's Easybib. Go to this link, Easybib link. It's going to bring you to another website. It's called easybib.com. You can bookmark this if you want, because you will probably use it for all of your classes once you know how to use it. When you get down into Easybib, you're going to see some tabs. These are tabs on how to cite various sources. So a website, a book, a newspaper, a journal, a database, and all kinds of other options. So let's say it's a book. Let's say it's your textbook. So we go to book. If we click on book, you'll see that you can search for books. I'm not interested in searching right now. I'm interested in just having you do the bibliography. So we want to do a manual entry. So hit manual entry. Don't worry about searching. You're going to cite a book that's in print. So there are other options here. The one you want is in print. So we're going to look at the authors. First thing you're going to do is put the authors in. And you type in your first author. And I've typed this in before, so mine come right up. The first time you're going to have to type in Michael, and his middle initial, L, and his last name, Kane. Now, if you look at your book, there are actually 3 authors, so we have to add a second author. The second author is Carol, K, Yoon. So again, you'll have to type all those in the first time. And then you have to add another author. So the last author is Anu, no middle name, and it's Singh Kundi. And that takes care of all the authors. Then you have to add the title of the book. And our book is called Discover Biology Core Topics. If you just put Discover Biology, I'm not going to get too upset. But the official title is Core Topics because it's not the big thick book. It's the smaller edition. I didn't make you buy that big one. You have the 4th edition of this particular title. And then you have to look at put the publisher in there. And that's W.W. Norton and Company. And the city of the publisher. And often you have a choice of cities. Always pick the one that's closer to you. We're not too close to London. We're closer to New York. And the year that it was published. Once you've done this, you can add some annotations, like you might want to put some notes about the page number that you found particular information on, so that when you do your in-text citation, you can put the correct page number. You might put ideas that you might use from the book, or anything you want, any ideas that come up, any information that you want to remember. I'm not going to focus on annotations today. I just want you to create the bibliography. So you're going to create the citation. Right at the bottom, that big button, hit Create Citation. And the citation is going to come up right here. That's it. That's the whole citation in MLA format. You don't have to do anything else. Easybib also starts a bibliography for you down here. So you're going to see that there's this particular citation that we just added, says citation added, was put into a growing bibliography. So let's add something else to this. Maybe you didn't just use your textbook for this assignment. Maybe you used part of a lecture. You know, you looked at your lecture notes or you remembered something from lecture. So notice that there's no lecture in these tabs, right? If we're going to try to cite a lecture, it's not a website or a book or a newspaper or a journal or a database, but it's one of these other 58 options. So if you click on the 58 options, you're going to see that you can cite all kinds of things. An advertisement, a cartoon, a court case. You might even cite an email. If you had gotten information from somebody, preferably somebody with authority, or if you got some personal information, you were doing a research project on cancer, and you talked to somebody who had cancer, and you wanted some information from them, and you got it out of their email. There's all kinds of things you can do. Websites, obviously. Let's see what else you might come upon. A painting, you know, something. You have to cite everything, even if you got it from a painting or a photograph. There's a photograph there. But we're going to focus on lecture now. So let's go down in the very center of this list that says lecture or speech. So go to lecture, and let's say this was a lecture on organic chemistry. We did that this semester. So you can just say the lecture was organic chemistry, and it was a lecture. And who gave that lecture? Well, you're going to probably say me for this class, but it could be anybody. And don't worry about my middle name. You can just put Lori Freeman. And what's this title? Well, this is a lecture in a topic. So it's a lecture in your course, Intro Biology. It could be a lecture in another course. But I would use lecture in Introductory Biology. But you'll want to give it an event title. Where did that lecture happen? What city? Well, it was in Johnstown, New York. You'll have to write that out the first time. What location? Fulton Montgomery Community College. And what date did you do that? Did you hear that lecture on? I don't remember the date we did this, but it was probably sometime in February. So let's say, just for fun, it was February 6th. So we're going to look here. We'll go, and notice that you have, it's January, February, and March. You don't have a lot. Oh, here's February up there. Sorry. So we'll go February 6th, 2012. And then you hit Create Citation. Again, you can add notate. You can do some annotation. I'm not going to focus on that right now, but you're going to just create that citation. If you create this citation, there it is. There's the name of the actual MLA cited lecture. And not only does it cite it, show you the citation, it adds it to the growing bibliography. So now we have two things in our bibliography. We have our lab. I mean, not our lab. We have our textbook, and we have our lecture. Well, let's say you also wanted to cite the lab handout, because that's where you got the information for this organic chemistry. You know, a lot of that information for this assignment came from the lab handout. Well, how do you do a lab handout? How do you cite that? Go to all 58 options, and I want to choose pamphlet for this. There's not anything that says lab handout. There's nothing that says handout. So you pick the thing that's pretty close. And it sure was a pamphlet, right? It's a pamphlet you got in lab. And when you look at that pamphlet, at the lab handout, you have to see if there's an author. If there's no author's name on there, don't put one on. Don't assume that I did it. I could have taken this lab from somewhere, borrowed it from somebody. So if there isn't an author, don't put a name. If it's got my name on it, put my name on it. If it's got somebody else's name on it, put somebody else's name on it. Whoever it says. I'm going to do this as an example and say there wasn't a name on it. I don't remember the actual lab. I didn't pull it out, the one I'm going to use. But let's say it's the lab that was on biological molecules. Who's the publisher? Well, if you got it at the college, the publisher is the college, because we made the copies. All right, we kind of published it. And where is that? In Johnstown. And what year? Now, again, you're going to have to look at the handout. If there's a year on there, use the year on the handout. If there is no year, you're going to leave this blank because you don't know when it was published. If it was this year, it'll say 2012. Sometimes it tells you the actual date. But I'm going to leave it blank because many times it doesn't. It should, but it doesn't. Sometimes I'm bad. I don't put those things on there. So we're going to create the citation. Notice it's really limited information. It's just the title and where you got it, who the publisher is. But you can still make a citation from that. We say create citation, and sure enough, there it shows biological molecules. There's the lab handout right there. So if we go down a little bit, it's going to have added biological molecules, the lab handout, to our growing bibliography. And notice it puts it in alphabetical order. So this one was added to the top. You know, the first thing we did was the book, right? And then we did the lecture. Well, these all have to be in alphabetical order to be in MLA format. And sure enough, it puts it in that format for you. Puts all three of them. What's even cooler is now you can save this to Google Docs, this whole bibliography. So just hit Save Your Bibliography to Google Docs. Before it will go to Google Docs, you have to grant it access to your Google Docs account. And you want to make sure you have a Google Docs account and you have that open. And once you're here, once you get to this screen, the bibliography has been put in Google Docs. You can go back to Easybib and do some more bibliographic citation, or you can go to Google Docs. So if we go to Google Docs, here it is. This is what comes up. It even puts Works Cited for you right there. Works Cited. Whoop, there it is. Your bibliography done. From here, you can cut and paste this onto your assignment if you've already written your assignment, or you could type your assignment now and have this go to the bottom. You, of course, will want to rename this because you want to leave it Easybib, blah, 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 this big long thing. So you will want to rename it. Remember, to rename, just go to File and Rename, and you can rename this to anything you want. And when you're done, you can go ahead and share this with me or with somebody else if you're working on a research project with a partner or whatever. So, Easybib, easy as pie. Hope this was helpful.